Hi dear students, here we have another example. Check. Find all x-intercepts, so we have to find all the zeros, okay? And the y-intercept, we're just going to find one. Always in polynomial functions we have just one y-intercept of the function. Here they are giving us the function f of x equals minus 2x to the third minus 8x to the second plus 10x. And as you can see, the degree of this polynomial function is 3. Here we have it. So we have to find 3 roots or 3 zeros, okay? So step number 1, dear students, set f of x equals 0 and solve for x factoring. So we're going to equalize all the function to 0. And then, so we can get the 3 roots. First of all, I'm going to factorize. As you can see, here we have a common factor, which is, here we have x to the third, x to the second, and x. So x is a common factor. And then let's see the coefficients. I have minus 2, minus 8, and 10. And I think that we can divide all of them by 2. So 2 also is a common factor, and I'm going to factorize also the negative. So as the common factor, I'm going to take minus 2x, okay? Then I'm going to multiply minus 2x times x to the second, so I can get minus 2x to the third here, okay? And then if I multiply minus 2x times 4x, I get minus 8x to the second. Careful with the signs, because sometimes you get confused in this part. Negative times positive, negative. Negative times positive, negative. And then look in the third one. Negative times negative, positive. Okay? Careful with the signs. And then if I multiply minus 2x times minus 5, I get plus 10x, positive 10x. Okay? So we already have factorized with common factor. But anyway, we have to continue because we have to get 3 roots. And here I'm going to get 1. But if I factorize the quadratic function that I have here inside the parentheses, I'm going to get the other 2 roots. Okay? So let's factorize the trinomial that we have here inside the parentheses. We have x to the second plus 4x minus 5. So we have to find 2 numbers that multiplied gives me minus 5. So it could be 1 times 5. But it must be negative. So one of them must be negative. But look at the coefficient that we have in the midterm here. It is plus 4x. So we have to get 4. If we add these 2 numbers, we have to get 4, positive 4. So the combination would be positive 5 multiplied by negative 1. And that way we have negative 5 here. And that way also we have, if we add them, we have positive 4 here. Okay? So this is the correct combination. So we have x plus 5 times x minus 1. Because 5 times minus 1 gives me minus 5. And if I add them, 5 minus 1, I get positive 4. Now, I'm going to take the 3 factors and I'm going to solve for x in each of them so I can get the 3 roots. In the first one, I have minus 2x equals 0, and I solve for x and I get that x equals 0. Then, in the second one, x plus 5, and I solve for x and I get that x equals minus 5. And in the third one, I have x minus 1, and when I solve for x, I get x equals 1, positive 1. So here we have the 3 x-intercepts, or roots, or zeros. Now, let's find the y-intercept. In order to get the y-intercept, we have to evaluate the function in 0. So when x equals 0, and let's see what do we get in y. So we substitute in all the x, I'm going to write 0. So we have minus 2 times 0 to the third, minus 8 times 0 to the second, plus 10 times 0 equals, so as you can see, here we have 0, raised to the third one, to the third power, we get 0 times minus 2, 0. 0 also here, and 0 also here, so in the end we have 0. So when x equals 0, y also equals 0, so the y-intercept is going to be in the origin. Okay, so let's plot all these points, all these interceptions. So we have the y-intercept is in the origin, here, okay? And then the roots, x equals 0, so one of the roots is also here, which is this one. Then x equals minus 5, we are going to have another one here, and x equals 1, okay? So there we have the points that we need in order to plot the graph. Now, I want you to focus in the behavior. Look, the degree is 3, and 3 is an even or an odd number. Odd. If it is an odd number, the degree, and if the leading coefficient is negative, dear students, remember that if it is positive, it falls to the left and it rises to the right if the leading coefficient is positive. But as this is negative, you're not going to have something like this. You are going to have the other way around. It rises to the left and it falls to the right. So it rises to the left, so it's coming to the left. And also careful with the multiplicity. The multiplicity of these 3 roots is 1, so they are going to cross all of them. We are not going to have any bounce here. So it's coming to the left, it rises to the left, so it's coming from here, cross, and then it crosses in the origin, because here we have the other root, and then it goes back and crosses in the last one, okay? So this is the behavior of the graph in this function. Good, dear students. Let's continue studying. Stay at home and take care. Bye.